Hello and welcome everyone. This is Miss Walaa Samir, and today we will revise on the most important questions for the second term of the events of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Why did people in Saint Antoine Street rush out of their houses? Because Old Fallon was arrested. He was such a cruel marquis who told the starving people to eat grass. Everybody was shouting for his head. He was tied with ropes with a bunch of grass tied to his back. He was bleeding and asking for mercy. Men shouted at him, pushing grass into his face. He was hung to death. The reasons Darnay told Mr. Lorry were more for his going than for his staying. Explain. Darnay wanted Mr. Lorry not to travel to Paris. The weather was bad. The journey was long and tiring. The country was disorganized and not safe. Means of transport were uncertain. In addition, Mr. Lorry was too old for such a journey. Mr. Lorry convinced Darnay that those were the reasons for his going, not staying. He was too old to be stopped at the barrier. Because France was disorganized, Mr. Lorry was worried about the papers and documents there, so he had to go. Mr. Lorry was so loyal to Tellson's bank that he was ready to meet any difficulties for it. Moreover, he would take Jerry with him as he wouldn't be suspected by anyone. What made Darnay decide to travel to Paris? He wanted to save his servant Gabelle, who was accused of serving an immigrant. In addition, he wanted to clear his honor and good name. Why did Mr. Lorry decide to travel to Paris? Because the conditions in Paris after the revolution were bad. Papers and documents which belonged to Tellson's bank in Paris were in danger. They might be stolen or destroyed, which could cause a lot of damage to a number of customers of the bank. Mr. Lorry thought that he was the right person who would get those papers and documents out of danger. Why was Gabelle put in prison? He was accused of treason for serving Darnay, who was considered as an immigrant. He was going to be sentenced to death. He begged Darnay to come to Paris to help him, as Gabelle was acting for people, not against them. He paid people taxes and collected no rents. Darnay thought it wasn't dangerous for him to travel to Paris, although he was a marquis. Explain. After the revolution, Darnay, as a Frenchman who belonged to the Everymond family, was supposed to be revenged by people in France. Yet, he thought it wouldn't be dangerous for him to travel, as he left his properties to the poor people. In addition, he oppressed no man, imprisoned no man. He didn't ask for payment of the money owed to him. He won his own place in the world without favor, and he earned his own bread. This encouraged Darnay to travel to Paris to save Gabelle. What letters did Darnay write, and why? He wrote 2 letters, one for Lucie, explaining the strong sense of duty he had to go to Paris, showing her why he felt confident he wouldn't be in danger there. The other letter was to the doctor, entrusting Lucie and their daughter to his care and repeating the same things he wrote to Lucie. To both, he wrote he would send letters to them. He was safe as soon as he arrived. He left the letters with a trusty porter to deliver them half an hour before midnight. How was Darnay's journey to Paris? It wasn't easy. At every stage of his journey, he was watched and stopped 20 times. His progress was delayed 20 times by the red-capped patriots, riding after him and taking him back, riding ahead of him and stopping him, riding with him and keeping him in their charge. He spent days on his journey to France alone. He was questioned. He was escorted by 2 guards to accompany him to Paris. He was regarded as the prisoner, the immigrant every month. He was put in a solitary cell. Mr. Lorry was loyal to Tellson's bank. Explain. Mr. Lorry took a risk when he traveled to Paris after the revolution, despite the bad weather and conditions, to save the bank's papers. Although he was ready to risk his life for Lucie, he didn't let her stay in the bank. He didn't want to cause troubles to the bank by keeping the wife of an immigrant under the bank's roof. He hired a lodging for Lucie and her child and Miss Bruce. He left Jerry with them to guard them. Why did Madame Defarge visit Lucie? And how was their meeting? She pretended that she came to Lucie to help her and to protect her if necessary. In fact, Madame Defarge came to recognize Lucie and her child. She knitted their names to revenge them, as they belonged to the Evremont family by Lucie's marriage to Darnay. Lucie kissed her hand to show her gratefulness, but Madame Defarge made no response and met her with a cold stare. Madame Defarge and the Vengeance didn't respond to Miss Bruce when she greeted them. Madame Defarge pointed her knitting needle at little Lucie as if it were the finger of fate. How did Dr. Manett use his old suffering to help Darnay? He got himself known as an old Bastille prisoner to a crowd who carried him to the prison of La Force. He identified himself to the judges and begged for Darnay's life and liberty. The judges agreed to set a trial for Darnay to be examined. He worked as an inspecting doctor for 3 prisons, among them La Force, so he could visit Darnay weekly. He could get messages from Darnay to Lucie. He was presented in the court as the son-in-law of the old Bastille prisoner, so that he could get pity from people in the court. How was the new age? The king was tried, condemned, and beheaded. The Republic of Liberty, Equality, and Fraternity or death was declared. The black flag waved night and day from the great tower of Notre Dame. 300,000 men called to rise against the tyrants of the world rose from all the different parts of France. How was La Guillotine a popular subject of humor? It was the best cure for headaches. It was sure to prevent hair turning gray. It gave a special color to the cheek. It was the national shaver which shaved a little too close. What was the Carmagnole? It was a wild dance performed by people in France after the revolution. 100 people were dancing like 1,000 devils. There was no music, only their singing. They spun round until many of them dropped. They made rings. At the end, they went off with a scream. Describe the court on the day of Darnay's trial. The court was overcrowded by people. They were the roughest, lowest, and the cruelest of Paris. They were making comments, applauding, disapproving, anticipating the result without any check. They were armed. Some were eating and drinking. Many women were knitting. Why was Darnay arrested in France in the second time? He was denounced by people of Saint Antoine Street as an enemy of the Republic. He was a member of a family guilty of horrible cruelty to the people. What was Carton's threat to Barsad? Or how did Carton force Barsad to help him? Or what were Carton's winning cards? It was that if Barsad didn't help Carton with his plan, Carton would inform the nearest Republican committee that Barsad was in the employment of the aristocratic English government, the enemy of France and freedom. It would be easily believed in France that Barsad is still in the pay of the English government, is the spy of Pitt, the enemy of the Republic. What were Barsad's losing cards? Or what Carton didn't know about Barsad? That he was thrown out of his work in England. He worked in France as an informer among his own people, then an informer among the local people. He was a spy in Saint Antoine Street and in the wine shop. He remembered Madame Defarge with her knitting. He saw her denounce people whose names were registered in her knitting. They were killed at La Guillotine. He foresaw Madame Defarge produce her register with his name in it to end his life. On what point did Defarge and his wife disagree? Madame Defarge insisted on taking revenge from the whole family of the Evremond, including Lucie and her baby. Monsieur Defarge didn't want to cause Dr. Manett any more suffer and asked his wife to be satisfied with the execution of Darnay. What were the arrangements agreed upon between Carton and Mr. Lorry? Carton gave Mr. Lorry the written permission which allowed him as an Englishman to leave Paris. He also gave him the paper that allowed Dr. Manett and his family to pass the barrier at any time. Carton asked Mr. Lorry to have a carriage ready to leave Paris at 2 o'clock the following day. He told Mr. Lorry to make sure that Lucie and her child and the doctor and Lorry himself were seated in the carriage ready to depart for England as soon as Carton himself joined them. He told Mr. Lorry to tell Lucie that it was her husband's last wish that she and her father should leave Paris at once, as they were in great danger. Miss Bruce was the family's devoted friend as much as Madame Defarge was the family's greatest enemy. Explain. Miss Bruce was ready to sacrifice anything to save Lucie and her child. She was a determined woman. On the other hand, Madame Defarge had a perfect determination to find Lucie to kill her as a revenge from the Evremond family for her own family. Madame Defarge went to Lucie's house where she only found Miss Bruce. Miss Bruce was a strong woman. She prevented Madame Defarge from getting into Lucie's room. When Madame Defarge knew that Lucie ran away, she tried to shoot Bruce, but during the fight, Madame Defarge was killed and Bruce was deaf. What was the supposed vision of Carton for the future? He foresees Barsad, Defarge, the Vengeance, Jacks, and other oppressors ending their days under the guillotine before its use is ended. He sees a beautiful city and a brilliant people. He sees Lucie's family's lives peaceful, useful, and happy in England. Dr. Manett is old, but restored and at peace. Mr. Lorry enriching them with all he has before peacefully died. He sees a special place for him into their hearts. Lucie remembering him. Even after Lucie and Darnay's death, they have honor for Carton more than each other. He sees a child of Lucie named after his name. He got old to be a successful man who tells the children Carton's story with a tender and trembling voice. Thinking of such a vision was much better rest for Carton than he has ever known. Thank you so much for being with me through all this long revision until we meet again. Wish you the best of luck in your exams. See you. Bye.